Hey guys, it's Beth, and welcome back to Game Girl Beth, the one show on YouTube where we take a look at every single Game Boy game released in North America. And today we have Donkey Kong Land 2. And I will say, have you ever seen those bootlegs of, like, Genesis or Super Nintendo games that, like, were ported back to the Famicom? And by ported back, I mean they're usually, like, a reskin of another game. That's what this looks like, and it's official. That's just what the title screen immediately gave me. I will say, I do like the music. Oh, you do actually have the Dixie Kong twirl, at least. That's nice. I don't know why you wouldn't play as Dixie Kong, I'm gonna be honest. She just has the better ability. Okay, nothing up there, I guess. I will say, the sprites being smaller in this game and the map being larger is a massive help. It makes it so the game isn't as, impossible. Like, there's still a game here. Ow. Wait, why am I thought I already lost him. What the fuck? I am not a fan of the spin attack that Diddyga does. It's so stupid. Like, it just doesn't control well enough to, like, be satisfying to play as. Like, I feel like I'm constantly fucking up. Okay, I can play as my girl. Damn it. Any game that you can play as a girl character in automatically gets a higher score for me, like I will say. I forget what I gave Donkey Kong Land 1, but I'm gonna give this, like, 1 higher on principle. Damn, I can't play as Dixie. Fuck. There we are. The controls just don't function as well as you want them to. And that's probably because it's a Super Nintendo game on a Game Boy. Like, it's one of those things where you're like, yeah, no shit. It doesn't work well because it's like, what if you tried to play Call of Duty on your calculator, bro? Like, what do you expect? Oh god, it's the return of the fucking bee. I hate that bee. I do question, like, how were you supposed to play this on, like, an original, like, black and green Game Boy? And also, I feel like, weren't these games kind of about, like, strong platforming and then, like, you know, like, fluid movement and stuff? Like, you can't get that. You really just can't get that here. I'm sorry. And the thing is, like, obviously, on one hand, like, people can say, oh, I'm being too harsh on these games. You know, they're Game Boy games. But the Game Boy could do much more with much less. Like, the Game Boy is essentially, like, an RPG, like, powerhouse. Like, because it does sprites perfectly fine. God damn it, I hate this stupid bee. It just doesn't make any sense to me of, like, we saw even with platformers, like, Donkey Kong 94 is so good! Like, they made an entire platformer that 100%, like, works well in the game, like, within the restrictions of the Game Boy. Why can't they just understand that not everything has to be, like, some sort of massive, like, showcase title? Because the thing is, like, you can't. Not on this. Like, there's a reason that, like, the highest selling Game Boy games were Pokemon and Tetris. And, like, Dr. Mario and stuff. Like, puzzle games, RPGs, they worked great on the system. When it comes to, like, stuff like this, it's just, like, they're trying to do too much, and the system just can't handle it. Like, and it's not like it's not a capable system. Like, the system is capable of doing plenty of great things. The issue is they're trying to do things that the system just... They're trying to mimic other systems when it just can't. Like, it's not a Super Nintendo. I thought I died there, I won't lie. Like, if this was a Game Boy Color, maybe. If it was the Game Boy Advance, yeah, it would work fine. This is an original Game Boy. It's running with the same CPU as, like, the Apple II and the Commodore 64. Like, it's not designed to do this. The fact it's capable of doing this is impressive. But it really isn't as good as you'd want it to be. It reminds me a lot of, like, the, I'm sure my generation remembers this, because my generation was probably the last generation to have them. The multi-platform licensed games that would come out. And there'd be essentially be a different, they'd be a different game on every platform, like, specifically, like, handhelds and stuff. There was a period in time when things were being released for the PS2, GameCube, Xbox, Wii, PlayStation 3, Xbox 360, and the Game Boy Advance, and the PSP, and the DS. And, like, all of those handheld versions were different, not only from the console version, but from each other. And this feels like a game that would be sold, like, oh, this is Donkey Kong Country, and it's available on Super Nintendo and Game Boy. And then it's, you know, it's this. Like, the sprite work is impressive. Like, the fact that it runs this well is also impressive. I don't think this is something that should be happening. This seems like it's a crime against the Game Boy. It's not supposed to do this. And you can very clearly tell by just, like, the game doesn't run as well as you'd hope. And what I mean by that is not the performance. The performance is fine. The issue comes in the fact that, well, the screen's not big enough. And if the screen's not big enough to, like, have everything available on screen, you're on a platformer with plenty of moving enemies and one-hit lives, you just... you die. Because you run into things you can't see. Also, I have to say, the fact that you have to press the B button to attack and also to run does not work in this game. Like, I understand why it works in, like, Mario and stuff. Because of what you're trying to do in this game, it just does not. Wait, what? Why did I die? I will say, though, it's definitely better than the first one. And that's probably because, you know, you have Dixie Kong, so you have, like, the more floaty character that allows you to, like, get more things that you want. And, like, avoid things easier. And, like, the issue with, like, the original one was definitely... Screen sizes were definitely a concern. And, like, once again, you can just traverse the entire map as... I'm a rhinoceros. I can't destroy that, I guess. Well done. Well, alright. You know what? This one's definitely better than the other one. It's still not great. It's an improvement. I gotta hand it at least, like, a 5 out of 10. I'll hand it to them. They improved. I still think I would rather play Donkey Kong 94, though.